In the second section today, we're looking at decimals. And if you remember, decimals are always out of, I'll let you fill in that last number. I think we said it enough times. Our first section of the problem talks about converting 3/4 into a decimal. We have two options here. One way is to look at this 4 and see if it is a good partner with 100. Whatever we multiply that 4 by, we would also multiply the 3 by to get that to be 100. Now our other option is to look at the problem in a completely different way, and on this one we would do the division, where we take our top number, the 3, and put it inside our division, and add some decimals following that, and then put our 4 here as the divisor. And then using the 4, we would divide the 3. Remember to move your decimal straight upright here, and then you should be able to find what the decimal is for 3/4. Let's look at the next problem. Our second problem uses 0.36 and asks us to convert that into a fraction and then make it into its simplest form. If you remember, decimals are always out of 100. Let's try a simpler one. Let's say, for example, that instead of 0.36, we had 0.25. Well, to write that as a fraction, we would convert it to the number we see over 100. And now we can see that as we say this, this would be pronounced 25 hundredths, and that's exactly the fraction we've written. Now, to convert that into its simplest form, we need to find some sort of common factor of 25 and 100, and for us on this problem, that factor actually turns out to be 25. So we would divide the top number by 25, the bottom number by 25, and since this is 25 over 25, that's really dividing by 1. So the simplest form of 0.25 or 25 hundredths as a fraction would turn out to actually be 1/4. Now, take a look at 0.36. Get that to be a fraction out of that number we talked about so many times in class, and then look for a common factor of 36 and 100. It won't be quite as simple as 1/4, but it's still going to be a fraction you might recognize. Let's go on to the next problem. On our last problem, they've asked us to convert 5/8 into a decimal. Now, as you recall, 8 is not a good buddy for 100. It can't be made simply into 100 by multiplying by some great factor. The only thing we can get it to be is out of 1,000. So if we want to convert this to a decimal, really our only method is to divide 5 here by the 8 right there. Alright, so as you convert that, remember to move your decimal straight up and then pretend that this problem is just basically 5,000 divided by 8. Let's see how it goes for you. Alright, good luck.